Where is it? It will have to be a Ecclesi. Woman. And pickpocket. Drop that. Religion, nature, perception. That's for sure. Deity. Let's see, did I miss one? Is only Gozreh with the weather domain, or we can get it elsewhere. However, Vagug gets weather but no other useful domain. If he had madness, it would be perfect. So yeah, I guess we are going with Gozreh. Weather animal. Grounded animal is not great. Realistically, what do we get from Gozreh? We can just take weather as a second domain. We need madness, community, weather, and community, madness, and weather. There is no god with all three. So Gozreh and Nerasteel is actually the same for us. Except Gozreh gets slightly better domains overall, which means domain spells will be better. So yeah, my previous assertion was correct, it's Gozreh. Alignment doesn't matter wholesale, we are not using anything alignment restricted.
A trivial task. A mere flesh wound.
We'll need to go to the... Yeah. I mean, my plan is to revamp the parties. For that I need Costa Cleric. And for the caster cleric, we need to be able to cast decent amount of offensive spells, which means we have to go Era Steel. Not Era Steel, we have to get Ecclesi's Theurge, because Ecclesis get to fill out their spell book with their domain spells. If you... well, like that, in regular slots. Which means we are fresh out of luck in terms of Elemental Carnage armor. Which is unfortunate, but has to be done. Basically, we are cutting Lan out of the party, considering Glory is no longer a thing. And with Lan no longer being a thing, there is no actual reason not to have a caster cleric if we are getting Merc anyway. It can free us a slot, pretty much. We won't need, say, Ember, or at least we can cut someone reasonably easy. So that's what we need to start with. It's pretty much a cornerstone of everything new that will come with that patch. Well, main characters didn't change much. I mean, charisma is still decent attribute, so most of the builds will not change much. Especially not good aligned. Charisma still can get a buff of Best of Grace. And considering Best of Grace is still a thing, means Charisma is still better than Wisdom overall. Well, for the mains. So mains did not actually change much. What does change a lot is the party overall. Since there is no reason to keep Lan, and with there being no reason to keep Lan, we can swap someone into that place. Hey, this ads. How are you going? I'm planning my fire cleric. As I mentioned in the Discord, it's pretty time consuming, so I'm just cheating and thinking what can I do here. It's between Conjuration and Necromancy for the beginning of the build. So doesn't really matter. The pet is also whatever. Anything rideable is okay. It's a caster cleric after all. So long as it's large size, at least eventually, it's fine. Boars are fat, so it's as good as anything else. And they get ferocity. Not that it matters, I don't believe ferocity stacks with Die Hard. We could do Velociraptor with the small sized race, but there is no small sized race which will benefit us in any way, shape, or form. Elks are alright. Horses are fine. But really, it doesn't matter. The build itself is what matters here. So we will absolutely need Boot Companion. In this one, it will help it suck a bit less. Let's preemptively take bolster. We'll only be able to use it at like level 11 ish. So first impossible domain should go into community. And we need ascendant element fire. Third one has to go into well, we already have fire and community. We will need abundant casting at some point. And we either take madness now. I mean, taking madness ASAP is actually not as bad. I might even take it here. How bad is her spellbook at this point in terms of offensive stuff? Let's get level 9 first. Level 9 will bring us Flame Strike. So Ascended should be at Mythic 2. Yeah. Nope, it's Ecclesi. As I said, the reason we need Ecclesi is to take Gozreh, and with Weather Domain we are getting offensive spells, so our Cleric can be an actual thing and cast decently. Oh, where is it? There. So we are getting Sirocco out of it and Firestorm notably. That's the stuff we care about. Slowing Monday is not terrible. It's a decent conjuration for level 4. But mainly it's Firestorm at 7. Clerics normally do get Firestorm at level 8. So we are getting 7 and 8 Firestorms. Technically yes, but we are limited. We need a lot of stuff. We need Ascendant Element, we need Abundant Casting, that will take 3. We need Second Bloodline, we need Expanded Arsenal. Probably won't last stand. So that's a lot. Oh, and we do need domain zealot if we are taking madness. Because without it, madness is pure trash. So that's pretty much how it is. As much as I'd like to say we can take as many domains as we want, and that's not entirely true, especially if it's a caster one, which means you do need a abundant casting. And with abundant casting, it's very much constricted. It's 3 mythics already. And this one will be hopefully a fire based one. So yeah, at 9, no, we are getting some actual evocations now. So Flame Strike is an actual thing that exists at this level. Can't extend it to that. There is a good bet I'll replace this one with selective already. Or rather bolster here and selective here. So what are we getting here? There is an argument to take selective fireball from the lore master. Either controlled or even regular, considering we will have selective spell, for example here, it will slot our level 3, 4 and 5 spells, which is not all that bad. And I honestly can't think of a better spell to take. Another argument for Lore Master is taking a combat feat with Precise for Hellfires. Considering he does have Madness, he will always have decent amount of attack bonus to use the raid stuff. Although I'm not sure how good that will actually be. It's more like, well, he wants to be a cleric, he just wants to fling damaging spells around. It's more like a caster oracle, except for it's not a caster oracle, and hence it doesn't actually get access to all that spontaneous horse shit that is in the game, like Red Salamander and all that, which pretty much enable caster oracles, caster witches, all that. For us, it's pretty annoying. We have to get weather. But hey, what can you do? Selective is justified because we are getting Sirocco from Weather Domain. It's just 1 feat for us. for selective Sirocco. It wasn't destroyed yet by all cats, so we can't do that. If there was a reasonable way to use armor and still get our spells, now that would be awesome, but there really isn't. As much as I'd love to. Did the stream go down? I mean, it's not like we have many options. Our level 7 would be barren otherwise. We kinda have to get Sirocco. It's the only usable level 6 spell that we can reasonably get. So let's think about Fireball. Let's take it for now, and I'll decide about it later. I mean, not really. It can't actually be solved by positioning. There are a lot of places where you want grease on top of the enemy, and you need to move past it at some point, which would mean without selective you would have to burn at least an action on dismissing it, which is an action burned on something you would not otherwise have to do. I mean, if it's solely for the grease, now that's problematic, yes. But if your wizards or anyone else casting has other stuff, for example, Blade Barrier with selective is pretty neat. So there is also that. Gives us a physical option. Not an awesome one, but it's a lot better than nothing. My current idea for it is quite the opposite. We are moving it further in and moving Lore Master at like level 9 if possible, or maybe a level 10. If we are taking Lore Master at like 9 or 10, that's the point where we are having Fireball and level 4 slots. Gold Brass, and we'll take red. And this stuff doesn't matter. We will rarely cast it, but it's an option. Let's see. Level 13. We could also get improved critical in our build. Not sure if it's worth it. We can't take mythic one, so probably not. So, for example, here we are level 14, so it's somewhere in Act 3. I believe it's a bit early for madness. Instead, we can take abundant here and abundant here. Madness, no. Abundant, maybe arsenal here, and just go without till then. No. Arsenal needs to be here. So no abundant casting, just by the bullet. Yeah. Abundant will happen like there-ish, somewhere. So we'll take Impossible Domain Madness. Because it has to happen. Expanded Arsenal will happen about the same time, because 3 and 4 are not all that far apart. I mean, I would love to take extra mythic ability Domain Zealot here, but we physically can't. We need that evocation disease, without which it will suck. It. So now. 5 is start of Act 4. So start of Act 4 is where we are getting Domain Zealot. Kinda has to be that way. So 6. And this is where we are pumping abundant castings. Like all of them. And second bloodline. Red, that has to happen, otherwise the build is pointless. And that's it. No space for last stand, but it is what it is. Has to be that way. Can maybe drop a bit of dexterity. No last stand is actually very sage. Caster without last stand is so vulnerable. But I don't believe there is anything we can do about it. At least it's riding, so won't drop as fast. And at 10 I would recommend getting last stand for the Arilu fight, which is where he will 100% go into last stand. But before that, with some careful positioning and being a bitch and riding on your whatever pet you choose, it will be probably fine. At least fine-ish. So that's actually why we are taking Ecclesi. So for example, Sirocco, we can just slot it everywhere, not just in domain slot. That's kind of the whole reason we have to wrestle with it. But it has to be your actual domain slot. For example, animal shapes comes from like animal, I believe, and we can't slot it. And because we did not take the domain, we just gotten it from an Ecclesi, which does get everything. So I guess he will be alright, slapping his dick around with mud and whatever. And we've taken Fireball, which means we can do that. I mean, even with Heighten, we can't say take Stinking Cloud that comes from water, and Heighten it will only be slottable here. We can't slot into those slots. Meanwhile, if we are getting it from a domain as an Ecclesi, from a peak domain, we can actually fill regular slots with it, which is the whole point of an Ecclesi. I mean, it's kinda yes. You are playing without Mythic Path pretty much for quite a while. I believe all the cool toys they get at like Mythic 7 or 8. Before that, it's whatever. You don't get anything special. I mean, I will do an Aeon build at some point. I just can't imagine something sufficiently different. It's one thing just taking, say, a Saint build and slapping Aeon on top of it instead of the Trickster. But that's not the point. Because slapping Aeon instead of Trickster on it makes the build worse, not better. Yeah, Azata is unhappy. Azata and Leech, I don't know why they have such a rage boner on it, but those two are not happy at all. I in general don't understand why they suddenly decided to work against cheese and nerf all the fun stuff instead of chasing off the annoying bugs that really destroy the enjoyment of the game. Beats me. It's like wild. Why would you do that? I believe some of it stems from the fact they don't play their own game. That would explain it. And the philosophy of if it's good enough on core, it's fine. That also probably doesn't help anything. I mean, I don't mind it, but it sure won't stop me from bitching about it. Besides, if they choose to pander, quote unquote, to someone other than me, even more of a reason for me to bitch about it. Granted, it's not so bad as for me to stop playing, but still, it's bizarre why would they voluntarily make their game worse than it was. Well, and that would be a free pick, like totally free, and don't actually have to have any of that. Dimension Door or maybe Magic Fang is not a terrible option. But presumably for Magic Fang we do have Brown Fur, who can cover for us. Uh, Creeping Doom is always nice, but I don't believe this one actually needs it. If we were doing a summoning build, maybe. But I don't believe we need it. So instead, let's pop a Wizard Defeat and get... Oh, you can also grab that out of order, if you really want. It's okay. But by the way, they said I can show that you can't actually use heighten for that. For example, chain lightning, we can slot it in regular slots because we didn't pick the thing. So we can heighten spell, for example, to 7. Here is our heightened chain lightning. And what do you know? We cannot slot it in regular slots. So yeah. Heighten, we might still take it for the Archon Zora, but I'm not sure. Overall, there isn't all that much that we really want to heighten. It's literally just for Archon Zora. Everything else, well, maybe you'll love slowing model that much. But in which case you should go for conjurations and not evocations. And I don't even think that there are that many conjurations that are worth it. So in that case, maybe you are better off just uh, taking slow or something of sorts. So let's slot out and see how the... same with elementals, but elementals are actually fine on one slot. Elemental Swarm for free, it's nice. Maybe 2 or 3 mass heals. We... well, Ecclesias, they do get a bonded object, so they can recharge 1 spell per rest, which is not all that bad. Makes them a tiny bit more versatile. And we have Firestorm at 8, which means we have Firestorm at 9. So we can do something like that. Sadly, can't eat the cake. Well, can't have the cake and eat it too in this regard. Can't have Mind Blank and Elemental Swarm at the same time. Kinda have to choose. I have no idea which one is actually better. One of them should be fine. If we were just playing with Siroko's, Titan would be more reasonable. We could slot like level 7, 8, 9 with Siroko's maybe. But that's a bit of an overkill. Well, we would slot 7 and 8. At 9 we probably would take a Lore Master Icy Prison, and that would be okay. But for our purpose we want actual damage from the build, so... speaking of actual damage, let's transfer items. No sorting. So, yep, everything should be down below. So, robes of fiery things, yes. I also need to check if this thing prohibits spellcasting. I don't actually know. I haven't played much. Well, I haven't played much with Ecclesias in this one. And there were no Haramakis in Kingmaker. Stormlord's Resolve is not useful for us. Maybe... probably not. I mean, this one is pretty scuffed in terms of loot. But it doesn't matter, not really. Yeah, that. This build has the luxury of not needing Red Salamander on the bright side, so that's nice. Actually, maybe that. No. Where are the gloves? I'm thinking about... I mean, I'm not sure I have them on this save. Or they might be on someone. I want... Oh, that one. Yeah. So we do get quite some bonuses. We are getting competence and sight. And that. Alright. So some bracers, I don't even know which. That would not suck all that much. I mean, we can do that. It's not all that bad. And some maybe +8 hat or whatever. So it literally doesn't matter. Any plus with hat will do. Also, yes, more damage. And I mean, it doesn't actually matter. This will be hogged by a brown fur, but for this build, well, for the intents of testing stuff, it doesn't actually matter. Yeah. It's +1 seal, and this one is +2, technically. Although it's kinda dicey, I'm not sure which one is better, spell penetration or 1d6 more and 2 on attack rolls. I guess it depends on if you are making attack rolls at all. But I guess we, after all, will need the precise shot, maybe. I mean, who knows? So maybe that. Elemental bodies we do not give rat's ass about. Restoration we don't care about. So yeah, let's slot out everything we want. And see where that gets us. We probably will need a few heals, maybe. One or two inspiring recoveries. That will help. Probably just one. If we ever need another one, we can bonded object it. So, Flame Strike gets bolster. And fills out the rest. Chain Lightning is more or less useless to us, we don't have conversion. What about Hellfire Rays? I mean, we can slot a few here. That works. Something like that. We will need some of that for sure. Slot Archonzora. Can do without. Maybe two of those. Maybe one delay. Few regular fireballs to top it all off. Maybe communal resist, and here we'll slot maybe protection. Everyone would need a few free forms. It's just nice. Shout, probably not. Something like that. Some death words, some forms. Uh, Two slowing mods should be enough. It's unlikely you will actually use it a lot. Like, no shot you will. Well, restoration, yeah. Have to have at least one. Maybe even cut slowing mod. If we really want it. So level 4 is rather cramped, but what can you do? It's fine. Maybe we'll be able to offshore some of it. But I doubt it. It is probably what it is. Besides, there is no shot he will be not, he or she will be not using Wardmaster Amulet. So, something like that. Stats will be filled out by Brown Fur. Let's do that. Pop in and see the actual damage on some test subjects.
Godspeed.
Trust in yourself. You require my unbiased opinion?
I'm never wrong.
That one. So, first question answered. We cannot use that. Even Harumaki is off limits. Good to know.
It's time to act.
So, what if we actually enable all the models? Uh, do we have Grandmaster Rod somewhere? Is
You're
it
a
on
good
Ember?
person. I like you.
Or... right. Чат, давай дуй от монитора. Милое животное.
Посмотри, какой наглый.
Да свинья.
Свинья. Весь компьютер яйцами обтер. Вот. Это ж не холодильник.
Да, Марин, спасибо. So there is a small chance the game will crash when I try to do the... Oh, we already have it. You what, mate? Ah, right. Oh, we indeed do have it.
We should move.
So let's see the actual big dig damage. So we activated everything. This will not matter. Actually, I want to see how much even that does. Yeah, that's pointless. At most we can activate... Oh, actually we can activate the suffocating caress on someone pretty easily. So that's nice. If we run a lightning... brown fur, we actually can use suffocating caress on it and elemental imbuement. That's cool. So on average we are doing like 300-ish. It's a merc. 123, huh? Uh, 15d6 plus 75. Uh, 75 by 15. Where is my calc? Yeah, so that's 5 elemental dice. 3 from fire and 2 from, yeah. Plus fire, plus unholy. But here it is 46. But I believe it only procs once. No, I see it twice. I don't see it on the first ray, oddly enough. Here it is on the second ray. Here is 46. No, 46 here. 46 here. It's well wild. Oh, right. It should actually proc like a lot more times. Can we actually edit it? There it is. Stats. Constitution. I don't know. Yeah, that's enough HP to
I'm
test stuff
always
out.
ready.
In terms of damage, at least. Cost Hellfire Ray. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instances of one. How the hell it was reduced? By what virtue? Well, how much does it miss? So we did like 750 damage here. It's actually not so bad, and given it's no crit damage. And considering Unholy was somehow, oh, not somehow, is
Time has
because
come.
of you, actually. Спасибо, Марина.
I'll take care of it.
There we go. That's more like, no, not like it. You are still in the aura. Can you move like somewhere here-ish? Rest all.
Weapons, spells,
Well,
poisons. The art of
however,
killing is so
many
diverse
times
these
the
days.
charm.
A shame one life is not enough to master.
So we've done 850. 850 is kind of respectable for pretty much no opportunity cost. So if we search and pick units. Yeah, Angel is fine. He didn't receive a single nerf for however long the game lasted. So, yeah, perfectly fine. As all things should be. And has free incorporeal, by the way. Let's not forget that.
This will be quick.
So... there is one there inside, so... Let's make it so. So that's about 330. Not like amazing, but it's not like total garbage. How does that happen? Oh, that's them standing nearby. So yeah, if you nuke stuff that is clumped, you are getting like closer to 400 something. And 400 something is actually not all that bad. And obviously, if you are kicking something for the barrage, then the ring activates again, the belt activates again, and the robe activates again. So that's actually fine. And I don't believe the damage can be a
I'm never
lot
wrong.
better on a cleric.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'll stand there. So we attack Babao. Competence and other. So that's +4. There is that. Don't we have another source? No, that was armor. Right. Can't have more than that. But we still can grade a quicken and say do that. So it's DC 34. 34 is not as bad. I mean, I would prefer it in somewhere closer to 40s, but beggars can be choosers, I guess. Don't believe there is a lot we can do about it. Well, maybe a point or two from the gear. If we optimize a bit better, but other than that, I'm not sure we can get more. Well, we can get more, a bit more from Heighten, so that would put it at like, what, +3 from Heighten it would be. That would put it at 37. So technically worth it if you care about Sirocco that much. For me, in this one, Sirocco is actually more of a byproduct. It just so happened that we get it, and that's it. Speaking of which, let's see if they actually fixed.
It's time to act.
They did. No, that's just variance from the rod not being active. I need better testing.
It's lacking.
That. Babo. And that's good enough. Did I enable? No. Good, I checked.
This spell works differently.
So, let's see. Yeah, there is actually variance for some reason. So, they actually didn't fix it. So we can see that Divine is slightly higher. I mean, they did lower it, but they didn't fix it apparently. And that picture is actually consistent. We can see it all across the board. And here is barrage extra damage, which is fire, which procs more fire, and unholy. Cool, cool. By the way, speaking of all cat not giving a fuck, as you can see, Robe of Baphomet does not get extra dice. And it was like that forever. So the game robs us of about half the damage.
I'm always ready.
I mean, it would be nice if we had a decent way to enable fire imbuement. Like, wouldn't it be awesome?
Soot is restless. I wonder why.
Oh, wait, no, that. Yeah, that is fine.
My skills are absolute.
Like, would you look at that? So much better. But it's such a pain to activate. Like, it's about 20% difference. Alright, not 20, about 10%. But with it being such a pain to activate, it's not worth it. Is still imbuement active.
We do it my way. Ah, a test of my abilities.
So yeah, that's about as much as we can expect. I mean, after all, it's probably alright. It's versatile, does some damage. Nowhere close to Caster Oracle, which has like what? Uh, 1, 2. I mean, that's a lot of elemental dice over this.
Yes?
But we absolutely can do that here under no circumstances.
I will see this through.
Well, unless we say just take 2 spells from Lore Master. What if we say take Lore Master, take well, say we don't take Fireball here and say we are content with running Animate Dead in those slots, which is fine. Can we skip Weather like wholesale? It would save us a Mythic feat, would net us Last Stand. So for say we are taking Fireballs. Oh, no Mudslinging, but that's whatever. 5 brings us Flame Strikes already. So do we even actually need this? If we can struggle without, somehow. Say if offense starts from level 5. The build has maybe Blade Barrier, maybe Hellfires. On 6, nothing more. Well, maybe Bolstered Flame Strike. Alright, so 6 is fine. 7 is actually Baron. On 7 we would have to invent something. For example, well, not taking Sirocco would mean we will need to invent something. Well, let's presume we do that. Well, it also does mean we need to run someone with the Frosty armor nearby, which complicates stuff. Let's do that, actually. So, let's instead of talking about it, just do it. Just do it. Do it. do it. Wait. The whole point was not running Neclazy and not running whatever that was. Yeah. So, Herald Caller. Herald Caller would allow us to actually convert stuff to this shit. Costs us a domain. Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I would prefer to keep my domains, maybe. What do Angel Fires do? I don't remember. They don't cost for shit. Got it. Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, cast spells, Blast of Flames as a swift action. The flames deal 1d4 points of damage. Is it fire damage though? Because if it is, we might be in the business for it. In which case we can do no conversion stuff. If we do no conversion Angel Fire and would blast ourselves with fire, that's one option. Speaking of that, let me see. How often would we have to blast ourselves? It's next round, right? Yeah. So we keep this shit for one round. So we would have to burn ourselves for quite a bit of damage actually over time, so maybe it's not such a great idea. Yeah, I don't give a shit about Versatile Channel. I mean, it's okay, but whatever. It's useful, but just not a deal maker or breaker. Don't give a crap. That's what we care about. Half is whatever, half is divine. 1d4 per spell level, the highest spell level he can cast. Oh, to all enemies, so we can't blast ourselves. So that's sorted. Per spell level of the highest level spell he can cast to all enemies. Oh. So it's 9d4. And with half and half. 9d4 on average is what? It's 17. So 17 damage burn per round.
I'll take care of it.
Well, she will have 20 con, so that's 60 HP, give or take. So say we are at 260, that would mean we can burn ourselves for like 10 rounds or so without too much trouble. Oh, granted, we can't actually burn ourselves, but still, it's interesting. but not all that much. Even in best case, we are doing like 50 damage AoE for free, which mildly I'm using, but whatever. We are not hunting those numbers. Extra 50 is... yeah, lol. Uh, Priest of Balance, it's just... yeah, can channel. Nobody cares. So we are probably back to default cleric, unless we are willing to issue the animal. Well, let's see how it will look if we are going, say, default cleric. Uh, I mean, Hero Collar is so nice. It's so much utility in one. We would spam summons, crap on enemies. Such a good deal. Let's actually skip Animal Domain. It's way too tempting. And it doesn't matter for the purpose of testing. Let's do what makes me feel good about myself and my decisions. And Herald Collar surely does. I mean, look at that. No diminished spellcasting, just all pure upside. So nice. So, spell penetration. On the bright side, on the Herald Collar, we can take literally whatever, so long as it has community, madness, or... do we actually need the third one? No, because we don't take animal and don't need... yeah, so community means it's either Erastil or literally anything with madness. Well, not literally anything. Technically, you probably would prefer positive channeling. So even with madness, it's not that much of a choice. I don't even remember if there is a single god that has madness and positively channels. So there is a chance that it's not actually an option. At least for most. Healing knowledge repose, no. Fire glory good, nope. 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 So yeah. Which means it's not actually a choice, it's Erasto. Who would have guessed? Serves me right for trying to be fancy. Frog's
I'll
legs,
take care of
bee's
it.
knees, all
This
that
doesn't suit me. We
fancy
won't
shit.
falter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that UI. So, we'll crap all over it with the power of Toy Box. So that's nice. Let's take bolster up front. When are we taking Lore Master? Lore Master is at 9. Actually, Herald Caller has another benefit, which means we can summon instead of doing damage for the earlier parts of the game. So we don't actually have to have pretty much anything in that regard. So we can skip early game. Well, skip early game spells. We are getting Flame Strike at 5, and we can call that okay. And be like, yeah, sure. That's what we're doing. And we are converting everything we don't need into trash summons. And this cleric basically comes up, puts a dick on the table and be like, yep, I'm summoner. That's how it's gonna be. I'll cast your damaging spells later, when I have nothing to do. And you'll be like, yep, I guess it's how it is now. I mean, it's not the worst proposition, really. So let's prepare anyway. I can later shift that. It's not a big deal. Feat order doesn't matter as much. The minor inconvenience in this case is we will not be getting... no. We will be getting nature from Lore Master, won't we? Yeah. So he will have proficiency in most of the stuff we want. So, do we need selective fireball? After all, we can take, for example, flame strike, yeah, at 5. But we can't really use it at 5. We need bolster for it to do anything. So maybe selective fireball and selective spell steal, even without Sirocco. That sounds a bit scuffed. Also, does Blade Barrier get converted? I actually have no idea. It's been so long since I used that one. If so, then we don't really need it. I mean, sure, we are lacking a level 4 damaging spell, but who cares? Don't have to always run about flapping big dick damage. Besides, at this point, there is not really an elemental imbuement. All the big dick damage items are in Winterhold, which is like level 13-ish. So that's where we are starting to care about damaging stuff. Before that, it's mostly control, maybe some light dick flapping. But overall it's whatever. Let's take selective steel. No expansion yet. We don't have to have it. Not just yet. Granted at level 7, well, no, we need to get to Guarded Hearth. That's what we actually need. Everything else can really wait. It doesn't matter. At least in comparison. Now getting all the useful stuff, now that actually matters. And now it's Big Dick Summoner that gets us more summons. Cool. Now I believe it's great to take Lore Master, which will net us positively absolutely nothing, because we don't actually need anything from him just yet. Oh, it could net us Magic Fang at 3. But we probably don't really care. Hopefully someone else can do it. Probably. So no Lore Master yet. Get lost. So it's high time. We are taking that. Oh, man. Two level 6 spells. We are casting bolstered flame strikes here. So we don't need Lore Master. We also should have taken... No, we are taking 5, 6, yep. So, Cleric here. Doesn't matter what focus for now. I'll decide what it will be later. So now we are casting level 6 spell, which means bolstered flame strikes. And we probably slot like 3 of them at 5 if we can fit them in. And use the rod to cast them. Which will work alright. At least insofar as our spell conservation goes. But what we are lacking is actual spell damage. So this thing... Yeah, this thing brings us some damage. We can get brass, we can get... And I still am not sure we need heightened spell. We will see if we need it. for now we are taking whatever. Brass and gold, yep. And those are both fire. No, I'm an idiot. It should be actually water and silver. Yep. Let's not be an idiot and pick the correct stuff on our. So yeah. So this is where Big Dick transformation happens. It should be level. Well, it should happen at level 10. Level 9 is level 5, which means here is where we are getting flame strikes. On the other hand, bolstered flame strikes is between bolstered flame strikes and actual conversion. Most of the demons have between 10 and 30 fire resistance. Um, let's see. Let's open the monster guide and look at the, say, rocks. Rock, PFSRD, Demon Rock. Damage resistance, blah blah, fire 10. So on average he can negate 3 dice of fire. So 3 dice of fire and we'd be hitting on average. Well, it's per caster level, so at say level 9 we are hitting for 9d6, so it's 4.5d6 of fire, of which 10 points aka 3 dice will be eaten, so it's 1.5 dice of fire. So it's like 6 d6 fire damage, which is around like maybe low 20s, maybe, well, somewhere there. 18 to 22 in that range on average, which is not worth the spell slot. It would be way too low of damage cap. Well, we obviously would have something from bolster and whatnot, but still it's a bit low. Which would mean we do need it. It's just if we need it at 9 or 12. And that I don't have a good answer for. We absolutely do need some big dick caster in lepers, but after that it's kinda whatever. We don't need burst spell damage. We can literally just take Ember, take Ascended Element on level 1 on her, and call it a day. She will carry us in lepers, and then we can like toss her out once she outlives her usefulness. Which honestly might even not happen all that fast. It's not a problem really, Ember is okay. There is nothing wrong with carrying her around for a time. So sure, we actually might do that. And literally use this thing as a summoner and support, and maybe a light damage here and there. Because I don't believe there is a good compelling reason to take a sorcerer level before 12. It probably will stop you more than help you. Especially with the delay on magical weapon progression. I mean, you kinda want cast a level 10 pretty fast. 15 is delayed in one way or another. It's like a decent prospect. So you don't actually care all that much about 15, but 10 is important. So I guess we are taking it at 12. Taking it at 11 makes no sense because 11 is a new spell level, so that has to be 12. But at least this build can afford it. Great. Well, we are continuing with Spell Hawkeye. Ain't nobody really cares what we take here, but let's keep it decently tidy. And not a complete mess, even for the testing purposes. Herald Collar continues. I don't believe we still have anything to take on Lore Master. Level 6 is populated enough, and level 7 will bring us like selective whatever wall. So kinda usable. Did I take selective, by the way? Yeah, how long ago? Speaking of which, I have a wrong item. So let's not confuse anyone. It's... yeah, should be that one. If you are looking for an angel weapons, that's how they should look like. Hasty Eradicator and Unslumbering Predator. That pretty much shifter angel set that you should be using. What is even here? Why I'm lugging it around? Oh, yeah, probably for the fashion or whatever. I don't know why it's equipped. Not that I care. So I wanted to check the damage converted blade barrier. Does it actually get converted? That's the first thing. You. Grab. Oh, we also get Cold Ice Strike. We can use that. I mean, in a pinch. Yeah. Fine. I don't complain even. So we needn't make it selective, because we will be testing on our favorite boar.
Adventures await.
So rest all. Free to go. So we've done 13d6 force. Now if we convert, still force.
We should move.
Dismiss that shit. So that does not get converted. Sedge. In a way, yes. But
This is
does
my
foresight actually work when you are, say, ambushed on the road? No, you need to cast it. Which is why Unslumbering Predator is not out of date even then. There are quite a few situations in the game where you are caught with your pants down, and this is what allows you not to be completely cocked by some demon or whatever. You will likely survive if you are not flat-footed. Plus, you are immune to all eyesight effects, so that means all gazes, pretty much everything. Granted, you are not killing with this weapon. I am not sure if that part works in the spirit form. But the never flat-footed part does work. I mean, there isn't much you can take, actually, that will work. Like, what would you even use in that hand? I mean, I know why I would use if it worked. And where is that stupid sword? Stupid sword is... Ah, there. You theoretically would want to use this shit, but guess what? It just plain doesn't work. So, yeah. You can use it as a wall hanger. As nice as it would be. But nope. Nope, nope, nope. Not working. Yeah, would have been good if it worked. Which it doesn't.
I'll make my own legend. There is no greater satisfaction than in overcoming a challenge. That is, of course, until one day the challenge overcomes you.
So that doesn't work. Which is a bit sad, but whatever. But we can safely use that for sure. I mean, Cold Dust Ice Strike will work for us. It's fine. It's a bit clunky, but it's decent cold damage. I mean, I know we're hitting for 0 because we have no items
I tire
and
of waiting.
I haven't taken any mythics. But that's not the point. Point is, it's usable. And we can selective it. Plus, even this shit we can actually overstack one on top of another and call it a day. Although I'm not sure if selective is worth it on this one. If we are not using blade barriers or Siroccos, maybe it's not. We will see. So yeah, level 5, level 6. Well, level 5 is technically level 6, and this is technically level 7, so that's all sorted. Our problems, if at all, will happen later on. What about this? Is it getting converted? I never tried.
I can't cast it like that.
Yeah, remove that thing. Let's say we search and pick and create Babao for test, whatever. Yeah. Ah, shit. Need to rest.
I can't cast it like that.
So it does get converted. So that's actually kinda usable. It's not perfect, but at least
Should move.
usable. So it's a 10d6 spell we can nuke with. Okay-ish. At least one of them. Maybe Order's Wrath, maybe Holy Smite, depending on your front line. But likely in your front line it's Paladin and whatnot, so it won't matter. Granted, Paladin's horse is not lawful good. Say Doge.
I stand ready.
They should get damaged, right?
I'll make my own legend.
Yeah, they totally will. But it's just 5d8, so like, that's what. D8 is 4.5 for 4.5 by 5. So that's 23-ish. Let's round up, which is how the damage usually goes. So 23 per cast, it's not all that bad. Yeah, dueling sword, last I tried, didn't work either. We can test it actually real
Let us
fast,
not
it's no
hesitate.
problem. I don't remember if I bought it. I did not, most likely. But I can console it in. Where is it? Items. Uh, Dueling sword. And now I search for mobility. Uh, no, that's killing pace. Hmm. Oh, okay, let's search for dueling sword. There it is. Master Fencer. Uh, let's search and pick. We are looking for weapons. Oh, not Feacer. Nothing to do with feces except for the quality of the sword. Add one. There we go. Now we just need to open the party window, use our handy dandy character, open the features, I believe, show all. We are searching for dueling sword. Proficiency, let's add that shit. There we go. Now all we need is to take our character again, open the stats, take mobility skill, wherever that is. Am I blind? Put 20 ranks in there. Well,
I will not falter. Let us press
let's summon some Babao. Poke it because log doesn't lie. Units. Babao for test. Alright. Now let's double check. On critical hits. Okay. So we open that shit up. Always roll 20 for the party. Not never. Always roll 20. There we go. And now stab. As you can see, I mean, there isn't that weird 10 slashing. So maybe it's their fix. It's exactly half our ranks. Let's actually look see here. Let's give ourselves 500 ranks. Not trickery. That shit was 20. So that's 500 ranks of mobility. Right?
Strike as one. Attack!
Let's see the damage. Yeah, it actually does work. What do you know? Except it's subject to damage reduction. Even, I believe, if the weapon is not. The weapon is +4. +4 should be enough except for adamantine. As you can see, weapon damage actually does penetrate. But the mobility stuff got eaten by damage reduction, which means the item is positively useless because it gets eaten by damage reduction. And being eaten by damage reduction, there is no discernible difference between it not working and working like this. There you go. So yeah, they did fix it, but it's completely worthless. There you go. I don't know why they even spent time on fixing it. So yeah, at 20 ranks it's positively useless. If you use it on a legend with 40 ranks, it would do 10 extra damage on average, and by the way, that damage does not get scaled on crit, so it's just flat damage. It will never be higher, no matter what you do. It's baked in the roll, so it won't apply on every damage instance. It's not a subject to crit damage for some reason, beats me why. So yeah, it's positively useless. There is nothing you can do with it that would be worthwhile, unless you really need extra 10 damage on your attacks as a legend. So yeah, back on track to stuff that actually works. But I mean, it's interesting they did quote-unquote fix it. Kingmaker weapons are straightforward and strong, yeah. Like, Vanquisher is pretty damn insane for what it is. Although there is an argument to say that Gravesinger is a better Great Axe. I mean, if I had an option choosing between the two, I would probably pick Gravesinger if only for the protections it gives. But that's neither here nor there. There are a lot of other Kingmaker items that are worth it. For example, Blinding Light. Blinding Light is awesome. Lion's Claw is nice. Even Bloodhound is kinda decent compared to this garbage thing. Not that Bloodhound is amazing, but compared to this shit, I mean, why would you even? So, back to cleric stuff. So, we determined that it's reasonably set for now. It can bolster that crap to feel the next level. If we really want, we can use the Holy Smite against demons for 10d6 something something. Good enough. Let's move on. Granted, Ice Strike is nothing to write home about, it's pretty annoying to use. But hey, it's free real estate. And we don't have to pick anything to use it. Probably yes, no, maybe. I mean, I don't even remember the BFT capstone. I believe it's... this one was not BFT. BFT gets, I believe, more stats, right? What was it getting? Arcanist, BFT. It's extend spell, yeah, powerful change, bonus is 4. So realistically it's... Well, it's 3 plus 8 items, let's look at like that. 3 plus 8 items are not so bad, and you are getting... On average, you are getting... instead of plus 4, you are... Well, instead of plus 2, you are getting plus 4. Because let's presume you are using plus, say, 8 belt somewhere. Given there are belts that are plus 8 and plus 1 crit range in the current day, available for the main campaign as well, what you gonna do about it? So stat part will not matter as much for and so size bonuses are left. And for size bonuses you are getting, well, plus 4 instead of plus 2. It's just plus 1. So if you can do better than plus 1 for the whole party, you probably will be doing it. The main reason to run a brown fur is stacking genie kinds on top of being useful the whole game. So it's never... потому что он не может взять 20 уровней в настоящем скальде, поэтому у него остается выбора немного, он берет поэта, хотя бы в кастерских партиях будет более-менее полезен. Ну да, больше харизмы, больше интеллекта, смотря кому что надо. О, не бесполезно, на том спасибо. Харизма просто очень легко переводится как в броню, так и в атаку, так и в урон. Атаку и урон дают паладин через харизму. Всем магам это больше бросков. Всем монахам, которые на харизме, это больше брони. Все довольны. Ничего сверхъестественного, просто полезный черт. So yeah, BFT 20 is probably not worth it. Realistically, it's just plus 1. If you can get better worth than giving your whole party plus 1, you probably will be doing it. For example, I believe Lore Master is on average more useful than plus 1 to the whole party. Just even say getting Magic Fang on your brown fur. Getting Magic Fang on your brown fur on average will be better than plus 1 to the whole party. Which is reasonable. So yeah, I probably won't ever get 20 Lore Master. not Lore Master, in BFT. It's just not worth it. If we could get it, say, somewhere like here-ish, it would be super worth it. Even if say, you get it at level 13, but you have to get level 20 in Brown Fur eventually. You get locked and can't multi-class. Now, in that context, yep, I would take it, no-brainer. Level 8 items at, say, level 13. Yep, gimme. At level 20, we already have plus 8 items. And plus 8 items are not that much better than plus 6 items, so yeah. If we look at it like that, it's not that much of a win. So, Herald Color 14. 15 would be 8. What if we are taking Lore Master, and from Lore Master can we take something druidy for the 7? Spell focus, whatever. Druid spell, cleric. At what level druids get Firestorm? That's what's important. PFSRD, Firestorm. So druids get it at 7. So if I grab it from druid list, it should be added at 7. Right? Am I very correct? I am very correct. So, let's fucking go. I mean, we still would need a bolster rod to cast it with any degree of success. But at least it's useful for level 8. I'm still not all that happy that the build has very little in terms of control. But I mean, summons it to a degree are control. And besides, Brown Fur, which we always drag along, can take care of Sirokus and all that garbage. So, are we... yeah, we are probably getting 16 before getting the last Lore Masters. That's just good for the madness. Great spell focus of whatever. And let's set Cleric 16. Now we can take Lore Master. How does that work? Where we are getting more? Ah, it's from the Lore Master. Yeah, cool. And the last one is whatever land. Maybe there is a reasonable way to inject heighten in there instead of selective, which we in practice do not need, since we are not running any pretty much CC. We will be fine without. Yeah. So this one is hidden. Well, maybe not this one, but one of those. So take another spell focus, because why not? What did I take on? Oh, I took spell focus here. Good boy. Take Lore Master. And probably here we are taking ease between combat fit precise shot. Can get Creeping Doom in theory. Which I would advise not to do, actually. But you can. Mainly because Creeping Doom, as good as it is, you will have it on your Lore Master more than likely. Well, on your Brown Fur through Lore Master. But it's between this garbage and that garbage, so... maybe there is a good reason to do it. It's Creeping Doom or maybe Magic Fang and take Creeping Doom on your Brown Fur, although it will most likely be occupied, so you probably won't. Can take Sirocco if you swear by it, which I usually don't. Sunburst is whatever. Yeah, let's grab Creeping Doom, see how the spellbook will look like if we do it. Here we don't start with Ascended, we start with probably Impossible Domain for the... we take Impossible Domain, Madness. Maybe not at one, but I'll reshuffle later if anything needs adjustment. We'll need Domain Zealot at some point. We need Ascended Element for the code. We need Expanded Arsenal Evocation. Now we positively do need Abundant. All of them, in fact. improved and greater. Let's set. So we have community and madness. We skipped weather and animal. So we can get extra mythic ability for either less stand, but if you want big dig damage faster, you would take second bloodline here and take I believe white. I'm pretty sure we've taken silver on our first pass. Yeah, I'll take white. So second bloodline, Dragony Boy white. So big dig damage achieved. Probably last stand here.
Adventures await.
It's actually more, well, relaxed. Granted, no riding, so we do pay some for it. And it's a bit more... it's a bit iffy in a way that you have to rely on summons to be useful for quite a bit. But still, it's at least reasonable. Is it her? And the last one is likely, yeah, extra mythic ability, and you can take Ascendant Summons and call it a day, I guess. Or whatever else. Can take Rupture Restraints here, or even can take Impossible Domain, whatever, if you like. Although at this point, you probably don't have a lot of mythic domains that you actually want. Maybe if you swear by something. I mean, technically, destruction is like 8 damage to everyone so long as you don't get hit either. Which on unfair is an interesting proposition. Getting chunked for 16 more is probably no fun. Especially given you are getting only 8 in return. So, probably not. I'd probably recommend either Ascended Summons or Rupture Restraints here. Well, another reasonable option is Spell Penetration. Always nice. But yeah, let's grab Ascended Summons because it's fine.
We should move.
And that's the build. Let's see where we are in terms of spells that we get. Firestorm. So we do get that. Shield of Law, obviously we need those. Don't go anywhere without. Legendary is okay, mass heals are fine. Perfectly so. And you do have some firestorms. Decent enough. Here again, you are using level 7 firestorms, I'm just lazy. Alright, let's not be all that lazy. Let's slot it out like it should be, at least ish. And that. Here we are taking... Well, actually we are probably taking heightened flame strikes. For the most part. Let's actually add heighten to the build instead of selective, as I've already said. Features. Yeah, not to the main. So that should work. Now we can take Flame Strike and Meta Magic it, yep. Something like that. To level 7. And to level 6. Maybe that. That here. Oh, right. Quite a lot, a bit more here. At this point, well, that's why I'm skeptical of the Creeping Doom. As much fun as it is, I'm not sure it's worth it. I guess you'll see in the build if that's worth it, and which version I'll go with. So we have this set. Well, the good bonus of Creeping Doom is we can take it as... actually we can't. We need to take Firestorm at 7 before Creeping Doom. Creeping Doom can only happen at 20. At which point it's dubious value. So I would probably take literally anything else. And you do have enough summons to do without Creeping Doom. So level 5. You probably want 3 of that. Not Life Bubble. Maybe few True Seeings here. Not sure about the rest. Can do that. Even if we don't find anything to cast. Here we will need some heals, that's for sure. Maybe an inspiring recovery or two here and there. We can just always heighten this shit.
Я же вот сейчас стираю. Надеюсь, что ты не смотрел.
Ну, почеши его, я не знаю.
Ох, что быть красавчик.
So, yeah. We can toss this to 5. This to 4. On 3, we'll put maybe 1 in there. Maybe 2 ores. I'm still not sure there is a valid reason to take heighten. Do we actually need it? Like, say 2 smites, maybe 3 of that. Maybe 2 of those, at least 1 that. And 2 of something else, maybe Great Magic Fang Weapon, or maybe more Death Wards, maybe... yeah. This one is pretty filled out. Likely 2 or 3 you will need of that. Maybe... Uh, okay. Something like that. It's alright. As I said, not sure about this garbage. And heighten, literally the only thing it does, it helps to fill out level 7. Everything else we can live without. And level 7 will... I mean... it can easily look like this instead, for example. Like something of sorts. One of whatever else. Like, even that is not terrible. What else could we take here? Create Undead is a no. It's fine probably. I mean, yeah, actually we can take and do that. I mean, who cares if it's 1 slot higher, so long as it saves you slot somewhere. You could do that, inspire recovery here, like that shit here. Save some slots down the line. Be a happy panda. Maybe like even like that. Don't need to be fancy. Cold dust ice strikes. I mean, they are not great, but could be worse. I don't remember if there are greater booster rods out there in the wild. But if there are, I just don't remember what the mage dude in Act 4 sells. If he does sell greater bolster or doesn't, I don't remember. But in neither case, it's fine as is. Could be worse. You can just use it as a single target, to be fair. It's okay. Not amazing, but fine. Would probably be closer to something like this. Even without bolster, it's probably comparable. Just for the fact it's safe AoE. So level 2 doesn't matter, it's fine in any case. Yeah, blessed to get rid of rocks thing, it's always useful. Oh, not always, but forever useful. Like maybe that. And the rest is bits and ends, nobody cares. Stuff and things. I actually don't know if Bone Shaker gets converted.
I stand ready.
Don't remember would be more accurate. I believe it should. Yep, it does actually.
I tire of waiting.
Not that it actually matters, but it's an interesting tidbit. Realistically, it will be something like that, maybe. At least one grace somewhere. And that's good enough. Level 1 is probably some Shield of Faith for less fortunate Unbreakable Hearts out there, because they are nice. Second Bless is whatever. Maybe one Remove Fear and I don't know, Divine Favor if you have a fantasy of doing Ray stuff at some point. Well, I mean, you do have Arrow Flow, for better or worse. Something like that. I mean, it's not a terrible Claire kit out. It's okay. And it's more relaxed here. Has actually everything. So now to the exciting bit, actually. Um, First things first. I did not buy Carnage on this run for some reason. Equipment. Yep, that one. Why?
I need something else.
Doesn't Herald Caller get the proficiency? Or what? Oh. Herald Caller doesn't get the medium proficiency. Alright, that makes sense. I mean, it's no big deal. We can just take it. I'm not so sure Herald is worth it in that case. We are trading one domain for 1 feat. It's easier to just take summon feats if we need it. I mean, conversion is kind of the selling point, I guess. Besides, there isn't anything overly useful. Спокойной ночи, Марина. So, something like that. Let's put some armor onto you, maybe. What was it called? Item. Unique items, yes. Called Aura White Dragon. There it is. Breastplate of White Dragon, yep. Put that on, please.
Are we in trouble yet?
And you too.
I'm curious.
Derp around somewhere here. Search and pick. Units.
We will be victorious!
Okay. We got zapped. That's nice. Yeah, that. So misclicked. So 370. Oh, now we are missing stuff.
This is my path.
Weapons. I believe we are using this. Cool.
Adventures await.
Yes, yes, yes. That. Yep.
Yet
And
another obstacle.
time of fuel. Oh, more like it. So it still didn't register the thing, but it's okay.
I'll make my
While
own
the thing
legend.
is lasting, can you please test that for me? Party, party, bag of tricks, yep, remove all, rest all.
I stand ready.
Oh, that's self-evidently kinda better-ish. So let's up the ante. Where is the... purple knife. Oh. Alright, Herald Collar is actually not happening. It will be a regular cleric, which is no big deal. On the bright side, Animal Companion. Yeah, shoots proficiency. That should be fine for the test. There it is, Cold Bite. Equipment, right? That.
I tire of waiting.
I'm all ears.
And spawn some babos. Units.
We cannot be defeated.
Yeah. And just give up.
I can't.
Yeah, that's more reasonable. We upped about 100 damage from where we were, and I like this better. Granted, it will have to drop. Well, I will have to drop a Herald Collar for something else, but that's minor stuff. It's more or less how it will be. We'll drop this for something. Maybe I'll squeeze in Boon Companion, maybe something else would happen, but its basic framework is done. Alright. That will be it. See you tomorrow. My wife went to bed, so gotta wrap it up.